Hello, welcome back to the Watford Way. Apologies about my voice. I'm slightly under the weather. I've been very busy in the last couple of weeks. I was out in Amsterdam about a week ago. I went to a concert at the O2 Arena just a few days ago as well. So I'm absolutely shattered. I feel a bit under the weather. But I'm here today to talk about Watford 1, Coventry City 1 in a game for me that I felt actually quite disappointed walking away from yesterday at Vicarage Road. Both teams could have won the game at various points. Both teams had really big chances. Watford had a chance through Musa Sissoko. Daniel Jebison late on in the second half could have put Watford ahead through kind of a toe poke effort right in front of the rookery end. But in the end, it ended 1-1 at Vicarage Road with Dele-Bashiru and Ellis Sims scoring for Coventry City. And again for Watford, what happened? We conceded early on, about 3.5 minutes into the game. Coventry won a corner, and actually Coventry won quite a few corners yesterday during the game. They must have had about 5 or 6, even in the first half alone. And yeah, it's a good delivery in from the right-hand side in front of the rookery end. Ellis Sims kind of nods his head on it, doesn't get too much power on it. It comes off the post. Batman kind of stands there, confused as to what's just happened. And again for Watford early on, 3.5 minutes into the game, similarly to Sheffield United and Derby County, Watford go behind early on, and all of a sudden we're chasing the game once again. And yeah, at the time, for me, I don't know about you guys watching from home or in the stadium, the atmosphere felt very, very flat. Now, for people who aren't aware and who wasn't at the game, Watford actually had issues with the PA system at Vicarage Road yesterday, which meant no pre-match announcement about the team. It meant no Z cars when the players walked out, and it meant Know Your Song by Elton John before kickoff as well. So generally, I found the atmosphere to be very, very strange. No pre-match music, no Darude Sandstorm, no team news, no Z cars, no Elton John. It felt very, very odd being in this stadium. All you could hear was conversations from people around you. And I think that might be a contributing factor as to why Watford conceded early on. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses, of course. These are professional football players. They should be able to defend from set pieces. But I did feel the atmosphere generally yesterday was quite flat. So if you was at the stadium, let me know if you agree with that in the comment section down below. And yeah, the first half generally, and actually the entire game felt quite stop-start for me. Lots of fouls given by the referee, lots of players going down with injury. And Coventry City, after their goal, probably should have been 2 or 3 goals up. They had some great chances, Batman making a couple of good stops. And what I did notice that Daniel Batman did quite well is, now this is all allegedly, but I believe he feigned an injury about half an hour into the game when Watford were right under the cosh, to kind of allow the players to go over to Tom Cleverley, regroup as a squad, take on some instructions, and then carry on the first half from there, because Batman kind of went down with what looked like, an innocuous injury. To me, it looked like he was feigning the injury just to allow the Watford squad a breather. So if that was the case and Daniel Batman did that, then fair play to him. That's some great leadership from him. And I went into half-time quite, dissatisfied and disappointed, actually. It was probably the worst first half I've seen from a Tom Cleverley Watford side so far, actually. We felt flat. I felt like we lacked some energy. A lot of our passes, like the Sheffield United game, were going astray. It took Watford a long time to kind of create any sort of fluid attacking movements yesterday. And the second half was certainly an improvement. Watford had a really good 10 or 15 minute spell before and after Tom Dele-Bashiru scored. And that goal itself was created marvellously once again by our Georgian magician, Georgi Shafatatse, down that left-hand side, driving past his man. A lovely little dinked cross across the box to Tom Dele-Bashiru, who was running onto the ball at the back post. He couldn't really miss. Really, it was an open goal for Tom Dele-Bashiru to score, and fair play to him. He said he wanted to add some more goals to his game, and that's his first goal, I believe, this season as well. So well done to Tom Dele-Bashiru. The substitutions were made after that. Daniel Jebison come on, as did Ken Sema in place of Yassir Larouchi, who I felt Larouchi for me has had quite a slow start to his Watford career. Yes, his debut in the Carabao Cup was very good, but I have a lot of question marks about Larouchi defensively. He seems to, look really confused as to where he is when he's defending the ball. He looks very erratic. He doesn't look very committed when he's making these challenges. Looks quite weak as well. So for me, Yassir Larouchi is a player who maybe could drop out of the Watford team for a period of time, maybe in place of someone like Ken Sema or Festi Ebesele as well, who's just joined the club. And Festi Ebesele was a player who also made his Watford debut yesterday on that right-hand side, coming on for Ryan Andrews. And those were the three main changes Watford made: Sema, Ebesele, and Daniel Jebison. And I felt they worked quite well. I felt like Watford maybe lost a bit of our shape when them three players come on. We were very susceptible on the counter-attack to Coventry. And Coventry themselves, probably could have scored another couple of goals in that second half as well, just through counter-attacks. Ebesele, again, defensively, he looked a little bit lost, looked good going forward. And I think that's been the case with Watford this season, really, where attacking-wise, down the wings, we look pretty exciting. But going back defensively looks to be a real issue for us. But hopefully, when Angelo Ogbonna joins the team and comes into the side, he can add a little bit of calm and leadership to the Watford back line. I think the only annoying thing from yesterday was the potential serious injury to Georgie Shakvatatse. At the time, to me, it looked like a back strain, and Tom Cleverley's come out and actually said that is the case, and hopefully Georgie should be okay. But it was very worrying, seeing Georgie Shakvatatse being taken off on a stretcher at Vicarage Road. And, at that point, I thought our season could go off the rails, really. And it shows how important that one player can be to our Watford side. We've seen it in previous seasons with Asprilla and how important he was last year, to João Pedro the season before that, and how instrumental he was to the Watford side. And I feel like Georgie is taking up that role, really, where a lot of the attacking play goes through him. And when it's not on the pitch, it really shows that we miss someone like him. Now, Rocco Vata come on and certainly put in a decent performance himself, but I don't think you can compare Rocco Vata to the quality and experience that Georgie Shakvatatse has. So, as Tom Cleverley said, hopefully it's not as serious as it seems. It seems like it was just a back spasm initially. So hopefully he'll be okay for next weekend away at Norwich City. And yeah, fingers crossed Georgie is okay. But in conclusion, the performance itself, for me, was one of the worst we've seen this season, alongside that Sheffield United game. I wasn't too impressed with Watford yesterday, but we've still got a lot of quality players to come into this side, such as Ogbonna, Ebesele, Daniel Jebison from the start, of course, as well. And hopefully we'll see a lot more positivity going forward in the coming weeks. We've got Norwich away next Saturday, and then that big Carabao Cup tie away at the Etihad as we face Manchester City. So I'm looking forward to both of them games. We'll be doing a watch along here for both of them as well, so make sure to tune in for that, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.